皆さん、オタクをやじだ。あげましておめでとう。それで、今年もよろしくお願いします。Hello everyone, this is Otaku Oyaji again. And first, I would like to wish all of you a very happy new year. And I hope that we'll have a great year in this coming year. Now, last year was very challenging for most, if not all of us. But I'm glad that, we have come through it, okay, through God's grace. Well, speaking of challenging items, today I would like to share with you one of my most challenging train sets, which after years, I have finally got it fixed. Now, being a train modeling enthusiast in Singapore is very different from that of the same person living in Japan. One of the key things is that, when I need parts, I can't just simply waltz over to a nearby train hobby shop and get the parts I need. I will need to order them from major retailers in Japan and get them shipped over. And sometimes they don't carry stock, while the local hobby store in Akihabara probably would. Yes, but, well, having said all of that, it's finally done, and, well, let's have a look.
Okay, this set has given me one of the biggest headaches in my train modeling experience. I got this off Zen Market, off some other guy who was selling it second hand. Now, normally the Japanese are extremely trustworthy people. You will get what they say, and in fact, they often exaggerate whatever damage they have. They say that this is actually bad, but when you look at it, it's just a minor issue. You can fix it easily. All right, so I have the utmost faith in buying secondhand or pre-owned Japanese trains. But once in a while, you do get the bad apple in the basket, and this is it. All right, now it was advertised to be complete, working, yada yada yada. All right, not so. Okay, first of all, it's a 6-car set. All right, but of the 6-car set, 3 of the cars lack the metal conductors that will allow me to come out. Okay, thank you. To conduct lights inside here. So I can't light up these things at all. All I had were the wheels around here. You don't see the wheels right now because I'm actually cleaning them in the ultrasonic cleaner. All right. So I had to resort to my own methods, which were rudimentary at best. Okay, that's number 1. Okay, number 2. One of the headlights didn't work. Yeah, the fuse blew. So I had to get an LED bulb on my own and then did some soldering work. Thankfully, it works now. I was extremely upset. I tried many ways to light this up, which I'll show you some of the ways later. All right, but invariably they failed. Thankfully, Masaharu-san from Real Rocco was able to help me source out these vital components, which I will be installing in this train set once I'm done with the ultrasonic cleaning. Hopefully with this, it will now run like one of my regular trains. Now my initial attempts to light up the HET were crude at best, and this is what I did. I took a copper wire. Focus please. Thank you, iPhone. Okay, I took a copper wire, I soldered it to a copper plate, and then I hooked them onto the wheels. Somehow on the bogie, and then the spring would come here and conduct electricity. Now, it did work in the sense that lights were possible. However, because the wires were so coarse, it caused so much friction around the wheels that the train could hardly move. And on top of that, initially I used a thicker copper wire. So you can see this thing could hardly move. Okay, I myself have just put in a solid copper rod there. Wouldn't have made a difference. All right, then I went on to version 2, which is making use of Greenmax conductor points. Now, a Greenmax conductor point this was actually sticking up flat, so I had to bend it inwards to hook onto the copper springs, but that's not an issue. The issue was this. You see this? Yeah, that's not natural. That's cut. Because Green Max, this thing is one solid piece, and it will get into the way of the bogie, well, structure, so to speak. So I had to take a metal cutter because this is pretty tough copper. Scissors wouldn't do the job. Okay, and I had to snip away these parts. All right, it was more miss than hit. Okay, out of 10 attempts, only 4 were semi-success. All right, and this is one of the 4. All right, and of course, because of the lousy spring I used, the very thick spring I used, it still caused a lot of friction on the bogies. Less than this, is better than this, but you know, it still caused a lot of friction. So yeah, that's why it all failed. Yeah, my initial experiments in trying to light it up were very crude. And speaking of crude, check out my initial LED strip. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Okay, this is a capacitor. I use a smaller one nowadays. All right, and this is a bridge rectifier. It's the same one. Look at how it's being connected. Okay, so what will happen is instead of having a springs on Tomix, okay, I will just slot into the holes and I'll tuck it in. It's really quite, it's not quite, it's very crude. All right, and then I'll just solder the rest of the bits together. It's ugly, but once again, it does light up the train. But you know, the me nowadays, when I look at this, I just go, oh my god, that's horrible. So I'm gonna rework it. The parts I will need to, well, make lighting, interior lights enabled inside my trains are these two. So Tomix JS21 and Tomix JS06. Alright, so what is this? This is actually the conductor copper pieces, which I mentioned earlier on. Alright, and this is the springs, which are much softer than whatever I used. Here's another look at the components. This is the actual Tomix part, and this was my initial crude attempt. Later on, this is the Tomix original at the bottom, and we have the Green Max on top. Okay, finally, yes. So you can see this did look a bit similar. Alright, but it was very hard to get it to this. As for the strings, this is original Tomix, so you see it's very supple and soft. Wow, this is mine. Try moving it. It's almost a rod. Stretch. Yep. So, vive la différence. Okay, let's go about installing the parts. So first, let's open her up. Wait, let me see. Oh, okay. Well, this is a really old set. Because presently almost all Tomix kits are made in China. Okay, and this is still made in Japan, which means it's really old. Next, let's remove the bogies. Okay, I'm gonna do one side so so it doesn't come apart, because the screws are what's holding the chassis together. Okay, so what I will do is just put it here, slot it in. I can't do things in front of the camera. Yes, like this. Okay, then do the same for the other side. Okay, and finally, I'll just put in this part. Okay, one side in. Other side in. I make sure that I thread this raised part of the hook into the springs. Yeah, so you thread the hook through the springs, and that's it. Bogey done. All right, not sure. Okay, and we just install it like this. Do a little boogie woogie. Now to test that it works, do you remember this poor excuse of my initial lights? Yeah, it will do. Okay, if this lights up, means we're good to go. Alright. Yeah. Yep, it lights up. Ooh, disco. Okay, this is a quick comparison between my two, well, how I have evolved in making this LED strip. So once again, this is the version 0. Okay, while this, oops, I bent the spring. Okay, well, this is the current version, right? How the connectors are attached. I use different capacitors. LED strip is, I mean, it's default, there's no change. Yeah, it's just the way I assembled it. Yeah. lighting this train up certainly has been a very interesting journey to say the least, but it has taught me many valuable lessons that, I won't be able to find out unless I dare to try. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helped it out and I'll be most appreciative. So, until the next time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mata ne! Oh yeah, and Happy New Year too.